Alright guys, I recently picked up this Back to the Future, the game. This is like the 30th, what does it say, 30th anniversary edition for the PS4. And I wanted to quickly talk about this game. I realize it's not for everyone. You really got to be into the old school kind of like point and click adventure style games. This game's made by Telltale Games, who went on to do a lot of these point-and-click adventure type of games. They did the Walking Dead, but they also did Sam and Max, so they do have the kind of connection there to the really old-school point-and-click adventure games. If you grew up with those DOS games, Sam and Max, they made some newer ones back in around 2010 or so. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was the same guys that made this. This game, if you're a big Back to the Future fan, you're probably going to like it. It's, licensed by Bob Gale, who was the co-writer, co-producer of the original film. It's got Christopher Lloyd does the voice for Doc Brown in this game. And Michael J. Fox does make an appearance. He does do some voices, but not most of them. Most of them are done by A.J. Locascio? Yeah, I have no idea who that is, a voice actor, but he did a great job, honestly. If you didn't tell me it wasn't Michael J. Fox, or if you told me it was Michael J. Fox, I would probably believe you. This game is episodic. It was originally released, one episode at a time. Back in 2010, this originally came out on Windows, Mac, and PlayStation 3 followed in 2011. And I think the final, whole game, all the episodes got released on PlayStation 3 and Wii in 2012. And then this is the 30th anniversary on PlayStation 4, and this came out in 2015. Now, this game takes, again, you got to be a fan of Back to the Future. You got to be a fan of these point-and-click adventure-style games, and you got to get past the graphics. The graphics are, I don't know. In a way, they're terrible, and in another way, they're kind of charming. I think the character designs look good. Doc Brown, the young Doc Brown, is just lovable. His voice is great, and I like the design of the way he looks. But, the graphics are what they are. This is a game that originally came out for Windows in 2010. And obviously it wasn't a AAA game. It wasn't a game designed to push graphics. It wasn't a game that you had to have a powerful computer to run, even back in 2011. And, this is the same game that was on the, Windows in 2011 and the PS3 and the Wii. It's basically just the PS3 game running at a higher resolution. And, sometimes this game's a little tedious. The controls are really janky. There's almost constantly the controls. I don't know what it is, but you're pushing the stick in one direction, and your character's walking in that direction. And then suddenly he starts walking in a completely different direction, completely backwards, or he'll just turn 90 degrees left or right. And you've got to let off the joystick completely, and then press the direction again, and he'll start walking in the correct direction again. That's kind of annoying, and it happens pretty frequently. Kind of surprised it's not something that didn't get patched out with an update, but there you have it. That said, the game has its moments. This part, for example, you're listening to what Doc is saying. He's having a conversation with his father, and it's really interesting because his father wants him to be a lawyer. He doesn't want him to be a scientist. And obviously deep down, you know, he wants to be a scientist. So he's having this conversation with his dad, but you're listening for the like words that he accentuates or exaggerates, and the word is like a clue to what you're supposed to click on next. As you're trying to make a battery, if I recall, or sorry, rocket fuel is what it was. But yeah, it's fun. This part was fun. So the game has its moments. There's some times where you're talking to certain characters and you're just like, oh my god, get this over with. And then there's other characters, like I said, the young Doc Brown character is excellent. So yeah, the game is what it is. Again, definitely not for everyone, but I just wanted to point it out. I picked it up. If you're a fan of Back to the Future, and you're a fan of these old school point and click adventure games, I think you might like it. I picked it up for like $30, I think. I got a pretty good deal on it. The game's not super cheap. To get the PS4 version, I think it normally goes for like $60 Canadian. And I found a guy on Facebook who was asking $40 for it, and actually I was 100% willing and ready to pay $40 for it. And I messaged him and asked him if he still had it, and he goes, "Yeah, and I'll take $30 for it." It's like I didn't even ask to lowball him. $40 was already a pretty good deal. But he must have been desperate to sell it, I guess. So, yeah, just like that, he offered it for $30. So, yeah, I think I got a pretty good deal on this. And yeah, I guess there's probably other ways you can pick it up. It was on Xbox 360. Again, it was on the Wii, where you use the Wiimote point and click, which probably makes sense. And yeah, again, originally if the game came out on Windows, and then was ported to the Wii, that could explain the janky controls. Like maybe moving your character around with the joystick was not like the initial kind of design of the game. I'm not sure. Assuming it was point and click, like mouse only, where you would just click where you would want them to walk. That might make more sense. But again, if you can get past the janky controls and you can get past the very, very primitive graphics, and you can get past some of the annoying dialogue, some of the annoying characters, deep down inside, it's got heart. There's, again, some of the characters you're gonna love. The guy that did the voice for Marty McFly did an amazing job. Again, sounds just like Michael J. Fox. And Michael J. Fox is in the game. He does do some voices in the game. And again, they got Christopher Lloyd for it too. And, Bob Gale, so one of the original writers, or co-writers at least, for the movie. Yeah, it's excellent storyline. So there's... deep down, it's got some good things about it I think you'll like. But again, you gotta be a fan of Back to the Future, and you gotta be a fan of these style of games. But yeah, anyways, that's it. See you guys later.